Hello there. I'm Anthony.
I'm Sharon.
And together,
we're the McClatchies.
So as mentioned in our intro video, we have quite a lot of differences. And one of those is I'm introvert.
And I'm more of an extrovert.
So we just want to share today a bit about how do we accommodate for each other's needs. And we've recently been to a friend's wedding. We were just reminded about how marriage is laying down your life for one another and really sort of seeking to serve each other in love, and how even in your differences you're accommodating for that other person. So how am I accommodating for Sharon's extroverted energy, for instance, where she needs to be around people more to feel more alive, to feel that energy, and the opposite way around, such as
so when Anthony's feeling low in energy, either he needs food to top up because he's got such a fast metabolism, he needs to be snacking all the time, or it's that he's just had so much people time, he needs that time out. He needs that sensory time out. That's what it is. It's that overload of maybe lots of music or voices or noises, and just like that sensory overload. When he withdraws and he is in a space that has less sensory noise, if that makes sense, that allows him to recharge, re-energize, and feel more himself, that when he's out and about with people or even with me, he's able to be more himself than a drained version of himself, which then makes him feel like, oh my gosh, I wish I had more energy for my wife, or him feel like, oh, I really want to be social, but I just don't have it in me right now. And then that could lead to him feeling like a disappointment or not good enough in social situations or whatever. But he's overcome all those barriers because he's realized, actually, when I listen to my needs as an introvert, I am more energized to be more myself, whether I'm with my wife or with others. So for me, being aware of that and checking in and seeing, honey, you're looking really tired. Do you need a timeout? Do you need to just sit down, physically slow down? Do you need a nap? This one naps a lot. I don't know how he does it. It's like 10 seconds, he's gone. Or like a minute, 5 minutes. I'm like, I don't nap. I can't nap. Like, it takes me it takes like 40 minutes just to switch off the mind. Like, probably a bit of the femaleness and probably a bit of the extroverted, external stimulationness. But, so when I'm thinking of Anthony, I notice his energy drops and I notice that he's feeling low, or even his voice reduces in volume. And that for me is an indicator, okay, honey, you need to either nap, or do you need some food? Do you need some water to stay hydrated? And then I find he looks amazing. He feels amazing. He feels more himself. I don't know how he does it with that 5-minute nap. And he's like, I'm a king of the world. And it's like, how? But, so that's kind of some things that I look out for, rather than pressurize him or make him feel bad, like, you're just not being energetic, or you're not being with me, like, why are you so tired? Like, instead of making him feel bad, recognizing he is different to me, his needs are different to me. And we often have this saying that when you rest, I get blessed. So it's the idea that you and your needs and your physical bodily requirements being met means you're in a better position to be more true to yourself, and therefore you're more present with me when we're doing life, and therefore I get blessed. So I'm so glad we figured that out. Absolutely, I think we figured that out like into our relationship, into our engagement, but even more so in our marriage, doing everyday life. You
recognize it more when you're actually doing day-to-day life together. And that's the beauty of marriage, is you find out things that you didn't necessarily know before, and it's good to sort of work that out as you go, really. I suppose on my side of things, it's just realizing that Sharon needs to be social. So sort of releasing her to do that, whether that's on her own or together as a couple. And if it is together as a couple, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I really don't want to socialize right now. So I think it's realizing sometimes as well that you have got reserved energy too. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm depleted of energy, I don't have any energy left. But I think what I've learned is, as an introvert, is sometimes if you just push yourself that little bit more with that social energy, then it becomes a new normal almost. That you start to grow those muscles with socializing, and it becomes easier after a while. That doesn't mean that you could just socialize like an extrovert now, but it does mean that you're able to socialize a bit more than you used to before, because you've stretched, you've grown, and therefore I'm able to socialize more with Sharon. And we'll mention in another video about how lockdown kind of messed with the equation a little bit almost on a later date. But for now it's just like realizing that sometimes when you are low in energy, there is that little bit more you could draw from. Sometimes you have to push through when you don't have energy, and that's the sort of laying down your life for that other person. Sometimes I come home from work knackered and tired, and I don't necessarily want to do the washing up, but I know that's kind of what Sharon needs, because she sometimes has the love language of
acts of service.
That's the one. So if I'm not doing the housework, then that bums me out, that bums her out.
Everyone's bummed out.
In the end, it makes me feel like I'm failing as a husband, I'm letting down my wife, and it's just, okay, let's push through, let's make sure Sharon feels loved in this area. And actually, once I'm doing it, I find that some energy comes from somewhere, and it makes me feel pleased that I'm serving my wife in this way. It makes her feel loved, it makes our relationship feel tighter, and that even means we could be a bit more intimate as well. So,
yeah, definitely.
It really feels nice, and
it can be fun, it can be silly. It brings out that just non-thinking moments that you wouldn't have otherwise if you were knackered and tired and just thinking about yourself and your needs and how much they need to get met. So again, like when he notices that Sharon rests, he gets blessed, because he gets a version of me that is maybe not completely knackered, completely exhausted, or frustrated that the housework isn't done. I feel so blessed that he's making that effort, and I see it, and I want to look after him. I want to bless him even more. Oh my goodness, he's pushing through, he's making an effort, he's really trying. Oh honey, thank you so much. Really, a part of you says you really didn't have to, but another part says my body has done it, like finished with this day, like I just need your help to step in. So I really appreciate all those moments where he, as he calls it his introvert reserves. He pushes into those a little bit, and when he completely doesn't even have the space or capacity in his reserves, he naps. He has a 5, 10, 15 minute whatever nap, hydrates, gets food, and then picks up with the energy, so his needs are met to then be able to find the ways to love me. And that I appreciate so much, because as that self-awareness has grown, it's meant that his ability to make energy-filled choices has increased, and therefore his capacity is increased. And I just am so blown away as a wife, with what that has meant for us together. So I think it's good to recognize your needs, good to recognize your limitations, know that you can stretch those limitations slightly, but don't stretch them too much as well, because obviously you can snap and get burnt out. But know that sometimes there is that extra reserve of energy too that you could tap into, even when you don't feel like there is. But obviously make sure that you also get that rest. And I think also just what Sharon does really nicely is she's just like, do you know what? It's been super social lately. You've had weekend after weekend where you've been busy. Go play some video games. And I think that's really nice as a man to accommodate for my interests and thrive in that really. And I'm thankful that she's a gamer too. She's literally yes. PlayStation OG.
So it's really nice to do it together. And I think also sometimes Sharon feels like she's low in energy and she doesn't necessarily want to socialize, but actually I try and encourage her and be like, actually my love, it might be good for you to socialize, because you might even pick up that energy. He pushes me to go be around people or do something that the default in me feels energized by, even though my emotions and my thoughts are like, oh, I'm too tired, oh, can I be bothered? But that's where he's kind of like, if you push through that little bit, my love, you might actually end up being in the right place with the right people or the right situation that will make you feel more like you. So I actually appreciate that so much. And I think with all things as well, being Christians, it's about being spirit-led. So ask God, what do you want me to do in this moment? Do you want me to go socialize? Do you want me to spend time resting? Do you want me to spend time in the Word? And not just going by the flesh or your emotions or by the different thoughts that's coming through, but actually, Lord, what do you want me to do tonight? What do you want me to do today? How do I use my time most effectively? So I think that's really awesome, and the sort of things that we've learned from marriage. Yeah, you got anything else to add?
No, I think that's good for now. There's more to come.
Yeah,
so much more
other videos. And,
but yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, guys.
If you like this video, then click the like button. If you want to comment something or disagree with what we say, agree with what we say, use that comment box. And then if you haven't subscribed already, there's the subscribe button. And yeah, stay tuned for our next videos. We're super excited to be journeying with you guys. And again, if you have any topics you want to hear about, then let us know. Yeah,
cool. We're the McClatchies, over and out.